We are living through the times when all our illusions are shattering. After those two big wars, we thought humanity had learnt its lesson, that we would never come to such a catastrophic end ever again. But here we are, less than a century later, repeating the same old patterns, on the brink of another war. I shared in the last video what is happening in the world right now, and a lot of you responded very well. But a question arises, only discussing what is happening is not enough. What is the way out? What is the solution? Can anything be done? Many of you commented like this as well. So yes, there is something that can be done, but the solutions are not as sensational as the kind of things we have gotten used to when we consume content online. The solutions that I'm going to offer today require a deeper pondering, require a certain level of maturity and a big level of openness to be able to grasp this. So perhaps it's going to be long, it's going to be conversational. So anyway, if you're in a hurry, you might be in the wrong place right now. But you can come back to this when you feel ready. First, I want to begin with reminding all of us of the cyclical nature of all things. You know, like the weather changes, the winter is followed by spring, is followed by summer, is followed by autumn and then winter. In the same way, all events in the world, they run in cycles. I know you know, but let's just state the obvious. Everything, collectively, political systems, wars, government system, economic systems, they stay for a certain period of time. Sometimes this period is longer than how much we live individually, and that is why it becomes hard for us to grasp this. But we'll come to that. But the same happens in our personal lives as well. Events run in cycles. We go through similar emotions again and again. The person might change who causes the emotion, the situation might change, circumstances might change, but it's like the same thing, same product in different packaging. So let's start with keeping this in our mind, that collectively and individually events run in cycles. Now, if we are lucky enough, at some point in our lives we realize that life does not center only around me, and if I can just zoom out, I will see all this cyclical nature. If I study history, if I study life, not just my life, but life in general, I will begin to notice how everything runs in cycles. Because if we are so zoomed into our own personal lives, we live for up to 80 years or so, then we might not grasp these things. But the moment we zoom out and see it from a big time perspective, we will see this cyclical nature of things. And so what happens is, same problems repeat, and people like you and me sit again and have the same conversation. And it's okay to have the same conversation because it is needed, and we are here to have this conversation. Sometimes people have this cynical attitude towards things when they realize it's all the same, it's all repeats. They want to get out of it, they want to retreat from it. But we will talk about it. Retreat is not the option. The response is, and this is what we're doing here, we're responding. Yeah, so in our age and time, this is the conversation that again is needed, and let's have this conversation again. In a crude way, if I say it, when shit hits the roof, that's when we again begin to ponder upon these big questions of life. Who am I? What am I doing here? What is my purpose? What's the meaning of life? When all things are very enjoyable and very much fun, we don't necessarily seek these questions. It would be nice if all of us could come to such pondering out of curiosity, out of enthusiasm, and not because we are forced to do it, but it's okay if we are forced to do it. Even then it's fine. So basically, the whole humanity returned to fundamental questions when COVID hit, and now still things have not really improved since then. They're only getting worse. So more and more people are pondering upon these questions. The world today resembles very much like George Orwell's Big Brother in the book 1984. But the book ends with dejection and despair and no hope. And I don't see it this way. I see that there is hope. I see that there are things that can be done. But again, in a very different way, in a very holistic way. And this way is slower, but this is the only way as I see it. So we'll get there as well. Have you ever thought that individually all life wants to keep on living, right? All beings that live and that grow, insects, animals, plants, trees, humans, they all individually want to grow, but collectively they all seem to be going towards their doom. How many millions of species have become extinct, while all those individual species, they wanted to survive, they wanted to go on living and multiplying, keep on being here, keep on growing. But collectively we all seem to be going towards doom. Why is that so? Have you wondered? What a beautiful and what an interesting paradox. Individually we want to go on living, but collectively we keep on going towards our doom. But when you ponder upon the fundamental questions of life, all deeper questions of life, they're answered in a paradox. Like, are we all one, or are we all different? Are we all separate? Are we all connected? Are we alone, or are we together? Are we living, or are we dying? The answer is yes, both, always both. We are both the individual and the collective. We are both the personal and the universal. We are this person in this body with this name and with this identity, and we are this universal being, one with everything, not really having a personal identity. And the mind doesn't like it. And that's why oftentimes some of you are confused in my videos. But this confusion is healthy, because the mind has learned to think in a linear way. It only thinks 2 plus 2 is 4. Life is not mathematics. Life is not a very precise equation. It always fools us. Like, we used to live in this Newtonian world, and now we live in this quantum world. And all the things that we see as matter, solid matter, this solid heavy rock, it's not matter. It just appears to me as matter. It appears heavy to me because this is how this matter and this matter interact. And this is how my mind and my senses perceive it. But this is nothing. This is 0.00001% any particle and 99.9999999% energy, possibility, vibration, frequency. The senses are fooling us. All senses are operating in this way, whichever language you like. But this is the quantum world now. More and more people are beginning to see, and I hope that you understand what I'm saying here. So we end up in paradox. Life, when looked at deeper, first causes a lot of confusion. It breaks the whole perspective, the whole conditioning through which we have lived for millions of years. It breaks that, and it asks us to be totally present and to seek this understanding in the very present, and realize that we will end up with paradoxes. We will end up with contradictions. Like in nature, right now it's hot, the sun will go down, it will be cold, this river is a glacier melting. So if I go in there, in a few minutes, I'll feel really cold. And then, my energy might go up and I feel really good. And then maybe the energy goes down again and I feel really cranky and not so excited, not so happy anymore. And so life is full of all of this. If very serious yogis, they always want you to be calm and always want you to be gentle and simple and happy and positive. Bullshit. Okay? It's, again, unnatural. Be fully natural and realize that life is not an equation. 2 plus 2 is not 4 all the time. We're living in a paradoxical world. Okay? Did I drive the point home? Good. Let's move on. Now let's talk about this illusion of outer fixing. We have this tendency to think that a guru, a messiah, a biblical figure anybody will come and save us. A lot of you also believe it. In your comments I see that a lot of us live in this fantasy world. I don't mean to offend you, but if you're offended, it's fine. We live in this fantasy world of speculation and shy away from any kind of personal responsibility because we are so smart, we are so intellectual. We say there is no person. We say, Hitesh, you said there is no person, so how can there be personal responsibility? So I'm nobody, I have no free will, I cannot do anything, and that's why it's all Maya, it's all illusion. You are just too engaged in it, too focused on it. But this for me is, again, not really a holistic spirituality. This for me is not how I see things. So hoping that someone else will come and save us, a government, a billionaire, a messiah, a figure from Bible, or every religion has this. Someone is going to come and save us. No one is coming. Now what if this someone is coming through all of us? So you are actually part of that someone. You are part of that equation that needs to be solved, but you're denying it because you are so used to think and see things as anything in the outside world will happen and create a change in your inner reality. But only the inner reality will create the outer reality. This is how it gets changed, right? Let me give you a simple example. You and I are connected for so many months now, for so many years perhaps. None of this would have happened if a thought wouldn't have come to me. Let's make a YouTube channel. Several thoughts come. We pick some thoughts, we act upon them, and we manifest a real, a tangible reality that is perceivable through our senses. So, a thought manifests as apparently material reality. So, it is happening all the time, from the inner to the outer. So this outer fixing, that someone could come and fix. If I could change this, if I could change the flow of this river, if I could do this, if I could change this government, it will be solved. But it doesn't, right? Does it ever change anything? A lot of people try to fix things thinking that their solutions will just remove all the problems. But there is no negative without positive. There is no problem without a solution. There is no solution without a problem. There will always be duality. Some people in the comments say, Hitesh, don't say so many negative things. Just stay positive. Just say good things and you will attract good energy. For me, good is both positive and negative. For me, I see it so clearly that the plus and minus, the negative and positive, the day and night, the good and bad, the good things in life, the good vibes and bad vibes, they support each other, they co-create each other. And I embrace reality in its totality. I'm like, let come what comes. And let's see how I deal with it. Let's see what unfolds. I'm not a B positive person, although my blood group is B positive. I'm not someone who's just trying to steer my life to a place where it's all just this. I'm also as happy to be in a big city, engage with people, and do the same thing that I'm doing right now with you. And this is balancing life, balancing both the positive and the negative. Inaction is not the way from where I see it. Something has to be done, even if it feels illusory to you. So, as I've said before in other videos as well, the only tangible solution is an inner revolution. We need to become aware of the individual's power when they become aware, when they become self-aware. In modern language, when they awaken. There are so many awakening videos right now. Why? Because everybody's realizing that the inner world is much more grand, holds much more possibility than the supposedly outer world. And so we must awaken from within. And let me tell you something. You think, what can a small individual do? What can I do? And I used to think the same way. And let me give you again this example. I'm just one person, right? And I change my ways. Let's say I'm not jealous anymore. And when I feel jealous, I acknowledge it I see it, I understand it, and I channelize it. I work with it. I don't get angry anymore. If anger comes, I channelize it. I dance it out. I speak to the person. I maybe get angry at them, and later on I calmly apologize to them deeply from my heart. Yeah? If I see that appreciating someone, encouraging someone helps them a little bit, I go there and encourage them. And if I teach them yoga, if I teach them breath work, if I teach them meditation, and they come and tell me, can I give you a hug? You've changed my life. Man, this is like, I could die in this very moment because of how many people have said that their lives have changed because of simple things that I've done to them. So you see the impact. And let me tell you how big this impact is. You meet 10 people in your life. Those 10 people are impacted. Those 10 people have a family of 5 people each, and they impact their family. And how gradually this snowball effect happens. And just with you, millions of people can be impacted. Millions of people can be impacted. So don't ever think of yourself as tiny, but also don't think of seeing tangible changes like next year or in 5 years or even in your lifetime. The point is not that if you can't see the impact of your work or of your thinking, then what's the point of doing it? The point is that even if you don't see the impact, what else will you do? Besides being compassionate, besides being loving, being kind, not only to the people that you like, especially to the people that you don't like, that you hate, that you detest, that you abhor them. Can you see through them and do what needs to be done, but not from a place of hate, disgust and anger? Because otherwise you're just keeping this whole paradigm repetitive, same loop you're continuing. Everybody's creating their own small bubble and living in that bubble. But how do you connect with the people from the other side? Another example from I just stay fixed with the YouTube examples today, so there is a seamlessness. A lot of times when negative comments come to my videos and I respond very positively, very holistically, I'm so surprised that many of them actually convert. They calm down, or they explain themselves better, or they apologize for their tone and the words they used. But it's amazing to see that if people come to you like attack you and you don't defend yourself and you just calmly respond, it gets solved. The energy changes. So we need to stop being so angry and so much fixated on my point of view. This is right, that is wrong. More patience, more openness, more awareness of a big picture. If you're so focused on your own greed and your shoddy, petty things that are happening in your life, you don't look at the big picture anymore. And when you lose the touch with big picture, everything bothers you. You are so annoyed so quickly. You're so irritable all the time. You're so short-tempered all the time. So the inner revolution that I'm talking about is actually you becoming self-aware. Means you become aware of why you say what you say, why you think what you think, why and in what circumstance you react in certain way, in which circumstances your reaction changes, how have you changed over the time, and how your actions, behaviors, thought patterns, overall energy impacts other people. Becoming aware of all this. And it's not something very difficult as many people put it. It's something very simple. But we are so used to always thinking that everything is so hard in life. Life itself is hard. But it's not. We make it hard. Life simply is. So if you really take interest and this becomes your modus operandi, your mode of operating, then it becomes part of you. It's like I'm gonna go on living like this even if humanity eventually kills itself or it changes into something better, because again, cyclical nature, it will change. But okay, let's get to this point now that I wanted to say. Now, let's say all of you became self-aware, all of us became self-aware. It is not like we will all react similarly. It is not possible, because sameness is not something, equality is not something that nature knows. Everything is different. No rock is of the same size. Even the snowflakes that fall in winter, not two snowflakes are similar. None of us are the same. We might resemble a little bit, but we're not a two copy of each other. Everything is different. Everything has unevenness. Fingers are not same, toes are not same. When you compare with other people, nothing is same. Life always reflects itself and keeps it interesting, or sometimes very chaotic. But the chaos knows order and order knows chaos. That's how life goes. So when you become self-aware, you may react differently than I do. Let's talk about these reactions. How I see it is that you will either retreat or respond. You will retreat to a physical location. Let's say you pitch a tent here and you don't really go anywhere. You hide yourself. Now, if you are an older person and you found a place to hide, maybe you will have a good life and you will eventually depart from this world, and I wish you all the best. If you are a young person, you can also do this, but I just want you to consider that no matter where you hide, the mess will get to you. It will reach you. There is rarely a village in the world where you don't find Coca-Cola. In the same way, there is no place going to be eventually where you could hide. If you don't mind, I want to play with sand in between my palms. It's also cold and I like it like this. Okay? So, you might want to retreat. Think about it. Can you really retreat and hide yourself from the mess of this world and then think that it will never get to you? And if it gets to you, how are you going to respond? Okay? Think about it before you leave. And you might retreat to a place in your heart where you close yourself. You say, you know what, I'm done with humans. Humans are a virus, like he said, Mr. Smith said in Matrix, right? Humans are the virus of Earth. They are the parasites of this Earth. You should think like that and forget that you're also human. So no matter how much you retreat in a place in your heart, can you really cut yourself away from the rest of the world? Can you really be peaceful and calm and realize your full potential in this life? This is for you to answer to yourself, not to me. And I'm just making sure that we have this conversation before. But then you also become self-aware, and just like me, you don't want to retreat, you want to respond. To this set of people who want to respond, I want to speak at length now. Most people, when they want to respond, they immediately choose the good side and start fighting the bad side. It's so clear to them what is good and what is bad. Because we choose convenience, we stop asking these questions. But if you really ponder, you will realize that what is good today will not be good sometime later, and what is bad today might become good. The good and bad are context specific. In the space-time context continuum, the good and bad change. Let me give you an example. If you support the Palestinian cause right now and you're gay, you belong to LGBTQ plus community, and the Palestinians come to power and you have to live in that state, let's say, it will be a crime to have the identity you have, even sometimes punishable to death. Most Muslim governments, there are a couple of exceptions, it's illegal to be a gay or a lesbian or queer. So you see, you could support them because you see the plight of the people there, but again, you might want to withdraw your support eventually, and you might start protesting against them. So you see, very clear example, right? Then if you were in the World War II and you were supporting the Jewish cause, and today if you see what's happening, what Netanyahu is doing, and you don't support it, then you might want to withdraw your support from Jewish community, right? You see the paradox, you see the confusion. So will you just fight for what is good today and not worry about what happens 50 years later? Then you are actually responding, but you're responding very emotionally and you're not responding with clarity. That's how I think. I think you are too quick to respond. Let's take another example of people thinking that the whole world should become vegan. But if we remove all the livestock, all the cattle, all the dairy, all the cheese, if you remove it industrially, it's going to create a chaos, a natural chaos, and also the chaos in terms of human resources and many other things that perhaps you're not pondering upon that. Individually, it could be a very good choice to be a vegan, and I have many friends who are vegan. I'm a vegetarian. But to think that in a mass scale veganism is the way, I hope you have a dream tonight when you see it happening and you see what happens 50 years later. What happens to ecology, what happens to how much fuel is needed to, I don't know, transport vegan oat milk to Kyrgyzstan. Yeah, so if you're responding, just ponder upon these things. When you are young, you want to attach yourself to a cause because you're seeking an identity outside your family identity that you lived with in your childhood and adolescence. Now you are ending your teenage and you want to really attach yourself to some cause where you find identity. And it's so easy to be attached to this cause of veganism or this cause of communism or socialism or this or that. But I would only suggest you to not be so fixated upon any ism so soon. Allow yourself to be mature, allow yourself to be able to hold the opposing views together and let them sink in. Because you read this book and you're like, oh my God, everything makes sense. Yes, that's what should be. And I see a lot of Western minds have this tendency to always solve a problem for good, for the best. But then it begets new problems. And they're like, oh, what just happened? So please, tranqui. Take your time, don't rush, and all the time work inward. And also, if you still find yourself, because you are called to respond, so you find yourself joining a political organization, doing social activism, or anything of that kind, ask yourself, not what is the cause that you are, not only what is the cause that you're supporting, but who are you who is supporting that cause? Are you angry? Are you divisive? Are you divided? Are you jealous? Are you a whole human being who is trying to make a whole change? Or with your unwholesomeness, if that's a word, can you make a holistic change in society? So again, even if you are willing to respond, it's imperative that we work on ourselves first and foremost, all the time. Even when we're responding, we're always watching our feedback, watching what feedback everything is giving us. And we need to end this blind faith. For example, Indians, my people, they think India is the best country in the world. We are the most spiritual, we are the guru manufacturing country of the world, the yogi manufacturing country of the world. And we have the best scriptures, the oldest body of knowledge, and we are so proud of it. And everything else is not that great for us, for most of us. Everything else is, we are so proud and so arrogant the way we discard everything Western or everything non-Indian, that it's funny. It's actually hypocritical. And if you look at what's happening in society, there is this pure body of knowledge, which I am also a big fan of, by the way. The Vedas, the Upanishads, the Gita, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, the Ramcharitmanasa, all the scriptures. I'm a big fan of them. I've learned a lot from them. But look at what's happening in the applied world. So much unhygiene, so much dirtiness, such a lack of civic sense, so much passive aggressiveness, so much greediness and dishonesty, and so much corruption, and so much rape, and so much violence. And who do we blame for this? The Mughals, the Muslims, the Persians, the British. We blame all of them. And again, that blame is rightly placed, but up to a degree. In a specific context, we cannot just always blame other people. So this is how we defend our identity, right? I am India-centric, I am an Indian, everything else is horrible, and whatever is horrible in my country is because of all the other horrible people. So I just live in my little Indian bubble. And Americans, they think America is the greatest country in the world. But is it? America becomes the father of the whole world and tries to control all the governments, tries to force democracy everywhere, causes so much war, so much misery, so much violence, so many deaths. But still, there are Americans who proudly, strongly believe America is the greatest country in the world, is the best place to be alive today. But is it? Hungarians think we are the most special people. Germans are so proud of themselves that they are Germans. And so this being very, rooting your center in a place so deeply that everybody else is the enemy, you are the best, that needs to change. That needs to change. I mean, practically speaking, we need all this. For now, for a long time, we do need this specific consciousness from time to time, but only to solve practical things. But whenever it gets to deeper, inner manners, individual manners, when we connect with each other, you come to India, I come to America, and we meet, there needs to be a clear seeing of our humanity. If that goes missing, which is missing, then yeah, we're just losing the whole point here. All of my life I found it bizarre to be proud of something that I didn't really choose. That was just a simple occurrence for me in this life. Born in an Indian family as a man in a certain century, and now I need to be proud of it. I don't have to question it. I find it bizarre, but some people are so fucking proud of being born in a caste, in a city, in a country. I mean, it's okay to see it in a perspective, and I'm not saying, when I'm saying this, I'm not saying the other part of it. So if I'm criticizing, doesn't mean that I don't love my country, or I don't love my people, or I don't love my religion. So that is the whole thing. We have been so trained and taught to think in binary, to always assume the opposite, like the opposite of good is bad for us, but it's not. The correct opposite of good will be ungood. That's as simple as that. But we are so trained to think like that, and so that is why it's so hard for me to always be able to convey what I'm trying to convey. And perhaps that's why the moment I go deeper in my videos, people don't really want to watch it, or they are so angry, or they're fighting in the comments. But it's okay. It's all good. As long as you even heard it once, maybe it did something to you. Each human being needs to realize their wholeness in their being and their limitation in their doing. So you realize that you cannot find satisfaction, deep fulfillment, deep happiness in doing, but you do because something needs to be done. And then when you retreat into being, you're whole, you're complete, you're full. If you don't find that home in your being, then you will go and destroy the world and blame the whole world for it. So this inactivity, this action, which is more of an inaction that I'm talking about today, must happen. This over-consumerism needs to stop. Go in nature, spend some time there. You don't have to pay so much for that. Buy a nice tent, pitch your tent, be fit, hike up. Like Indians, they go for these big pilgrimages, very, very high in the mountains, like 4,000 meters high. 4 people are carrying them, or the donkeys are carrying them. You go internationally and look at Indians in the airport. It's so funny. And today I'm going to get a lot of hate because I've decided to pick on Indians. Indians are very happy as long as I'm picking on Germans, Americans, Romanians, Europeans. The moment I'm talking about Indians, let's see what I get today. In the airport, it's like 30% of them are on wheelchair. They look young and perfectly capable to me, but they like to be carried away, carried by somebody. Also, it's a way to not stand in the long queue. But I don't know how can you take pride in being crippled. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm not. So, when you become aware, it's a responsibility. You become responsible. You have to respond with awareness. So as I said in my last video, being aware is not a release. Awakening is not a release. It is a responsibility. And whichever response you choose, the response to retreat in a place or in your heart, disconnected, or responding with actions, with activities, protests, whatever, joining a political movement, a social movement and all that. Be aware of what is happening, why you're doing it. Don't be so quick to say, that's it, I found my place. All the grounds are shaking. The deeper you go, the more you know. Like Socrates said, the more you know, the more you don't know. So always be that person who is not sure. This being so conclusive, this being so sure, this being so decisive all the time is causing all this problem. Humanity, when it thinks that it is people with good intentions, cause the most harm. Christians, because they wanted to turn the whole world into Christianity, look what they did. Study the whole crusade. Muslims, the Ottoman Empire, their crusade to convert the whole world into Islam. What does it do? Think about it. I've read some of the manuscripts of these kings and these emperors when they're writing in their journals. I've read that they killed millions of people, they were fully aware of it, and they dedicated all of this to Allah or to the Father, to God, because they thought they did a good thing. They propagated the right kind of humanity. Even Hitler thought he was doing the best thing ever. He wanted to make the best race possible. So he had to just kill all the people who were not in the best way for him. Along with millions of Jews, millions of gypsies were killed as well. We don't talk about them so much, but if there were 6 million Jews that died, there were 6 million gypsies that died. And also in India in 1943, when the Bengal famine happened, because of British Empire, around 6 to 10 million people died. Millions of people have died in non-Western world as well, but the whole world doesn't know much about it. Millions of people die because of people's good intentions. So I want you to be a little aware when you go with a good intention, thinking that I'm doing good in the world. It can cause much more problem. That is why it might seem very hard. We need to cultivate compassion and love for the people we don't agree with, people that we dislike. We need to be able to sit on the same table with them and communicate with them. And this world, because it's full of distraction, because you will try to be a better person, will try to do whatever practices you do for self-awareness, and then it will pull you. It will pull you again to old habits, to old patterns, to old conditioning. But this is your responsibility to keep coming back. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. If you get distracted a million times, come back a million times with a smile on your face. You don't fight distraction. You dance between focus and distraction. Move, sway gently between focus and distraction. And hold both the sense of urgency and the sense that you have all the time. I don't know. Be the best paradoxical person that you can be, like Alan Watts was. Smoked his life, drank 1.5 liters of rum or gin every day, talked about Eastern philosophy, explained it to Western people in a way that is the most beautiful for me. If there has been people in the past whose eloquence I've been the most attracted to, it's Alan Watts. What a open personality, what a laughter, what a way of talking about everything, and seeing the absurdity of it all. Smoking the pipe all the time, drinking himself to death. I'm not suggesting you do any of that, by the way, but look at the beautiful paradox. You do you, he did he, I'm doing me. So you do you, okay? Don't be a follower, be a learner. I said it also before. So the collective rebirth of humanity will happen gradually. It's happening as we speak. But this is the way that I think. Now I invite you to add to it, to say more about it, to really take time, ponder and comment, because people read comments and continue this conversation in the comment section. And if there's something that I missed or if there's something that I skipped, add on to it. You see, it is not so easy to speak on the camera and be able to remember all the things that I thought I'll talk about. And also, there is not really a feedback coming for me to respond to it. So there are many things maybe I don't feel the need to explain so much, but you need more explanation. So yeah, let's continue that in the comment section. And before you leave, I want to invite you to our Discord community. I'm going to start weekly meditation sessions, either from mid-December or from the beginning of January. I will do weekly meditations. This will be not just the kind of meditations you think are meditations, but much more like my kind of meditations, like really gentle, soft way of reflecting on everything that we talk about here. This kind of meditation, perhaps followed by question answer. So I invite you to join the Discord community. I invite you to follow me on Substack, where I'm writing and sharing my writings and sending you weekly community letters as well. And I invite you also to become a member of this channel. I've kept the membership really low, around $1.5 per month for you, and you have access to hundreds of yoga, meditation, relaxation videos. You still have, even if you're not a member, you still have a lot of series, the whole monthly challenges available for free, and I've removed all the ads, so there is no monetization on those videos. And some, to give special content to the members, I've put them behind the membership. And also this will be for me to collect some people who are really sincere, because I want to have really much more raw, genuine, deeper, authentic conversation. And then I will do monthly live videos and live Q&As, and perhaps also member-only videos where I can just relax, sit back and talk, and not so much think about algorithm and many other things. So this is my invitation to become a member, to join the Substack, to join the Discord community, and take it easy. All right, I go back to the Ganga and then I come back. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. For last 3 days I've been going for kirtans, because I came to Rishikesh after a long time, just alone. Last time I came here with a trip with a group of people. And I've been dancing in kirtans, and it's such a nice energy in me. Like I feel like always dancing. Where is my video going? I'm going to show you around, but my gimbal is acting weird. Okay, bye bye.